Nobody believed I could learn to code. Not my friends, not my classmates, not even me. They told me it was too late, too hard, and that the field was just way too competitive, but here I am today, a developer. And this is my story of how I proved them all wrong. When I first told people I wanted to learn to code, the reactions weren't just skeptical. They were dismissive. Some of them straight up laughed. "You, coding? Are you serious?" Others were a bit more subtle, saying things like, "Wow, that's ambitious. You know you have to be, like, a math genius for that, right?" The message was clear. I didn't fit the mold. I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't technical enough, and I was starting too late. For a while, I let those words get to me. Every single bug I encountered, every line of code that threw an error, felt like confirmation. It felt like they were right all along. I was an imposter, a wannabe trying to sneak into a club where I clearly didn't belong. The self-doubt was overwhelming. I'd look at other developers, at their clean code and complex projects, and feel like I was a million miles away. It felt like trying to learn a new language while everyone around you is already a fluent, native speaker. The feeling of being an outsider was heavy, and it made every small setback feel like a monumental failure. Honestly, I wanted to quit more times than I can count. There were nights I'd be up until 2 or 3 in the morning, staring at the same block of code, the same error message flashing over and over. My code never worked the first time, or the second. Or, let's be real, sometimes not even the 10th time. It was an endless cycle of writing code, running it, watching it break, and then trying to figure out why. My head would literally hurt from the mental strain. My confidence was completely shattered. I'd scroll through tutorials, watching someone else explain a concept that seemed so simple for them, yet so impossible for me. I would stare at my screen, the cursor blinking, and just think, maybe they were right, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I should just give up and do something easier. It felt like hitting a brick wall, again and again. But even in those darkest moments, when I was ready to close my laptop and never open it again, there was this tiny, quiet voice inside me that whispered, "Just try one more time. Just one more." And then, one day, it happened. It wasn't anything huge. I was working on a tiny project, trying to build my very first simple web page. I wrote a little bit of JavaScript to make a button do something when you clicked it. I hit save, refreshed the page, held my breath, and clicked, and it worked. The button actually did what I told it to do. It was such a small thing, a single function, a tiny piece of interactivity on a blank page. But that moment, that one small success, changed everything. It was like a light turned on in a dark room. That one tiny win broke through all the noise of self-doubt and the voices of others. For the first time, I felt a spark of hope. I thought to myself, wait a minute. Maybe I can do this. Confidence isn't born from some huge, overnight success. It's built brick by brick, one small win at a time, and that little button was my first brick. After that small win, something shifted in my mindset. I stopped talking about learning to code. I stopped trying to prove myself to others or seek their validation. I just put my head down and worked. I worked silently, almost secretly. I studied quietly. I filled notebooks with code, with diagrams, with concepts I was struggling to understand. No one saw the countless hours I poured into it. No one saw the late nights watching tutorials, the early mornings reviewing notes before work. They didn't see the frustration, the failures, the constant cycle of fixing one bug only to create two more. I was in my own world, leveling up one skill at a time. Every time a memory of someone doubting me popped into my head, I didn't let it discourage me. Instead, I used it as fuel. Their doubt became my motivation. Their laughter became the soundtrack to my grind. I was on a mission, not to prove them wrong, but to prove myself right. Then, slowly but surely, the results started to change. My projects began to evolve. They went from being clumsy, broken messes to something functional. Then from functional to something actually kind of cool. One day, I was showing a friend an application I had built, a tool to help me organize my study notes. I'd spent weeks on it, ironing out all the kinks. I showed him how it worked, how you could add notes, tag them, search through them. He just stared at it for a moment, then looked at me and said, "Wait. You built this." The tone wasn't dismissive anymore. It was a tone of genuine surprise, of disbelief that was slowly turning into respect. That was the moment I realized the tables had turned. My own self-doubt, which had been my constant companion for so long, started to fade, replaced by a quiet sense of pride. I wasn't an imposter anymore. I was a builder, I was a creator, I was a developer. Looking back, the biggest lesson I learned is that coding isn't about being a genius. It's not about having a special kind of brain or being gifted at math. It's about being stubborn. It's about being resilient. It's about facing failure every single day, sometimes every single hour, and still having the grit to come back tomorrow and try again. It's about the willingness to be a beginner, to not know things, and to be okay with that. You don't need anyone's permission to become a developer. You don't need a fancy degree or a perfect resume to start. You earn the title through effort. You earn it one line of code at a time, one bug at a time. One small, hard-fought win at a time. It's a craft that is built, not given. So if people are doubting you right now, good, let them laugh. Let them tell you it's too hard or that you're not the right fit. Let them underestimate you. Use their skepticism as your secret weapon. While they're busy doubting, you'll be busy learning. While they're talking, you'll be coding. You'll be failing, learning, and growing, all in private. And trust me, one day, maybe sooner than you think, those same people who doubted you will come to you with a problem. They'll say, "Hey, my website is broken," or "Can you help me with this spreadsheet formula?" or "How do I build something like this?" And in that moment, you'll know you've made it. Nobody believed I could learn to code. Until I did. Now, it's your turn. Your story is just beginning. Keep going. Keep building. Keep learning. You're so much closer than you think. Thanks for watching.